CNN10 Script, Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, Screen 115, Ukraine's rare earth minerals, March 3rd, 2025. Listen and repeat.
What's up, sunshine?
What's up, sunshine? I'm Koi Wire. Welcome to CNN10. It is Monday, March 3rd, our first episode of the month, Women's History Month. I'm excited to be here starting this week with you, covering the news so we can stay informed on what's happening around the world in 10 minutes or less. Let's get started. Today we start in Ukraine, where a deal allowing the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earth and critical minerals is on hold after a tense meeting unfolded in the Oval Office at the White House on Friday. The meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was meant to reset an already strained relationship between the two. There were high hopes of strengthening the alliance between the two countries would mean steps towards strengthening Ukraine's chances of ending their war with invading Russia. Instead, this meeting was cut short after a heated conversation, and a deal was left unsigned. The bilateral agreement between the two countries would have been the first of its kind. It was set up to help Ukraine and the United States jointly investing in harnessing Ukraine's critical minerals and other valuable resources, in part to help rebuild the country after 3 years of Russia's full-scale invasion and war. So what are rare earth and critical minerals? Anna Stewart quickly walks us through what these minerals are and why they are so important. Rare earths are a group of 17 elements which can be useful for electronics, clean energy technologies, and some weapon systems. But Ukraine doesn't have globally significant deposits or rare earth minerals. What Ukraine does have is a lot of other critical minerals. So what are some of these good for? Well, the US lists 50 minerals that are critical. This includes the titanium and zirconium, which is useful for aviation and the space industry, including for defense. Graphite is a key component for EV batteries and nuclear reactors. And lithium is needed for rechargeable batteries. Now, beyond all this being very useful, the US also wants more rare earths and other critical minerals, as it's an area China has been dominating for years. According to the Ukrainian government, Ukraine has deposits of 22 out of 50 minerals deemed critical to the US. It's unclear which of these minerals and how much of them are actually in this proposed deal. Many of these resources are expensive to mine, and some are currently in Russian-occupied areas. Extracting, processing, and refining these types of minerals can be very expensive and time-consuming. In Ukraine, the work is further complicated by the ongoing flooding that makes mining even riskier, and the amount of mineral wealth in Ukraine is unclear. Resource mapping hasn't been updated there for decades, with officials and analysts relying on dated Soviet-era mapping. The idea of leveraging Ukraine's resources was originally part of President Zelensky's victory plan for steps to end the war. President Trump initially wanted a $500 billion share of Ukraine's minerals to recoup military and humanitarian aid the U.S. provided in the war effort. It was rejected by his Ukrainian counterpart. While the new framework for the deal leaves some details to be determined, it will set up a joint reconstruction investment fund with U.S. and Ukraine ownership. The fund would give the U.S. access to part of Ukraine's mineral wealth while helping to boost development in the country. Now it's unclear whether the two parties will sign a deal, and much hangs in the balance for Ukrainians still at war with Russia. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh visited a titanium mine in Ukraine to show us how the critical mineral is being unearthed there.